Hey, I'm Anji.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're
Lovespirals.
Welcome to Chillin with Lovespirals, episode 95.
On 4/20/2025.
Oh my. And as promised, we're back with a new single and a new episode of the show.
Kind of go hand in hand, huh?
They do. That's the promise. We made the pinky promise. One single, one episode of the podcast per month, time permitted.
Yeah. All right, so with that out of the way, the biggest news going on right now is that our brand new single, Will It Ever Be the Same? Actually, it's a remix. It's a VIP remix, which stands for Variants in Production. Well, it's out on all streaming platforms now. Whatever you got, like, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon, all that stuff. Yeah. And if you're not familiar with this concept, VIP remix, the song Will It Ever Be the Same originally appeared on our 2018 album, Long Way From Home. Life Goes On.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Long Way From Home.
I know, we were. I know. But then the L's and whatnot.
But that's when it came out. I think we wrote the song a few years before that. So it's, maybe close to 10 years old or so.
I'm sure.
And I don't know what bit me. One night I was listening to probably some K-pop or something, and the idea just came to my head. I don't even think I said anything to her. I said, I should consider remixing Will It Ever Be the Same. I think it could fit in really well with the kind of stuff we've been putting out for the past year or so. So a few days later, I just silently pulled it up. I found the old project in Logic, started working on it. I go, hey, I think I'm onto something.
I remember now. Yeah, this is not one that we discussed in advance. You came out and you said you were working on one from that album.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you asked me to guess, but I didn't guess this one. But I do remember when we were working on the album, we thought, oh, this is a pretty great song. But
I thought I could make it better because we've learned a lot since then. We've gotten better as musicians and producers.
We must not have been as excited about how it turned out as when we were writing it, because I don't remember us promoting it a whole lot back in the day. But it's hard when you have 9
songs or whatever.
10 song album. Yeah. It's hard to give the same amount of attention and care and love to all of them.
Yeah.
Some of them got music videos and some didn't. And some, got pushed more on podcasts and whatnot. This one kind of slipped through the cracks.
Yeah, so even our fans from them may have not been too familiar with it. So we have a whole new generation, really, literally, so many younger people have discovered our music since over the past 4 years or so.
Yeah, since the dominant streaming platform thing happened, I think.
Yeah, so we have all these Gen Zers and younger, and younger millennials discovering our stuff too. So this is really cool. Most people, and most of them never heard this song when it came out. So it's a brand new song, and it really kind of is a brand new song. It's just kind of based on a slightly older recording that we added and massaged into. We checked it when we were all done with the mix. So let's put on the 2018 version just a comparison. Finally, it's oh wow, yeah, we really took it to a whole new level.
Well, let's talk about some of the things that we upgraded.
All right, well, why don't you start? I've been blabbing for a bit.
Oh, okay. Well, for one thing, I really enjoy how you added the more modern electronic percussion, like the 808s.
That's what I thought. We've been doing that in a lot of our songs, like Numenon and stuff.
Yeah, it's that thing we talked about last episode. We're trying to have more of a continuity between, our releases and bringing in that type of percussion.
I should mention what 808s are. It's a drum machine from the 80s made by Roland. It's legendary. It's one of the most, if not the most famous drum machine of all time. It wasn't popular when it came out. It was supposed to sound like a real drum machine, which was not really possible in the 80s, and at least not for under $1,000 or whatever, or at least under $10,000. Anyway, they kind of died a quick death, but they got popularized later by like all sorts of electronic music, like hip hop. It's you've probably heard it for decades and have not known what it was.
There's some great documentaries on 808s and instructional type videos that you can find on YouTube if you want to know more about it.
I believe the Cocteau Twins used that on their first album, Garlands, and they got rid of it quickly because it's kind of primitive. But anyway, it's been pretty popular. Yeah, right now, hip hop, K-pop, trap,
R&B.
And R&B. It keeps going. Its life keeps going, and I've been. I don't know why I waited so long to try to integrate 808 sounds into our music, and it just this perfect fit. It's known that 808's known for having this super fat. If you ever heard a car go by, the kick drums booming, shaking your house, it's probably from an 808. We don't make it that exaggerated, but I'm saying it has a really super fat kick, which fills in the low end like nothing else does, and you can actually tune that that kick to be a musical pitch or musical pitches, so you can have that play the bass line. In fact, you know, I did stuff like that on my drum and bass album with, you know, Flux, Lovespirals.
Oh yeah.
Flux. But anyway, it goes in really well with this bassy, ethereal thing that we're into.
Here's what I love about the 808s. I feel like it cuts through our particular wall of sound.
Yeah, it cuts. Yeah, more so than like if I just had some drummer kind of sounds like a dude, it just carries the beat and that's fine. Yeah. But it doesn't really make much of an impact. But the 808 cuts. And you just you have to you feel it, you know, the 808's there.
And the hi-hats too. I think that the hi-hats, you can hear them well even despite, you know, the female voice and the electric guitar with, you know, like all the reverb and delay. You can still really hear and feel the percussion, and it, you know, it helps to gently propel the songs, which is what we need. We need gentle propulsion in our songs. Yeah. We're not like Led Zeppelin or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, for me, that's one of the major differences. Adding in the vocal sample too, which is another kind of modern song technique that you hear a lot.
And we cut out a part where you're saying "tell me" and then just put it into a sampler in Logic and just started using it as like an old school like '90s sample.
Yeah, it's not as different in some ways as The Call had.
Yeah, that was very different. That one I used, a dude. That was, again, a VIP remix of a song from not as old, maybe a couple of years ago at most. And yeah, I had a drum thing going on that was like emulating a human being. It just makes sense for that style of music. You know, The Call's kind of a little bit of an outlier in that regard. But yeah,
it always has been a little bit of an outlier. So.
Yeah, but will ever be the same? Just totally in the full, right up there with like Numenon and everything.
Yeah.
It's funny when we put it on. Sometimes I'm just like, oh man, it's so beautiful and just so depressing. It reminds me of super depressing. It reminds me of like Cure's Pornography album.
That's what I told you the other night. Like as soon as the song starts, like
everything is horrible.
You just
life's terrible.
But then I love how we heard it the other night. Like late night, the perfect time to listen to "Will It Ever Be the Same" late night. And so it starts off. It's like devastating. You just felt like laying flat on your back with your eyes closed. Then it just starts building a little tension, a little more, and then when that guitar comes in,
someone said, I showed it on Friday live stream. Someone said, I see you got that Robin Guthrie guitar going.
Yeah, I suppose.
But mine is sadder, I think.
Yours is you.
I think I'm more depressed than he is, but I don't want to have a contest.
Well, he was on cocaine, so.
Yeah, okay. Well, that was later on, but he's on a lot of weed before that.
Oh, really? Yeah, you don't do 420 and then start recording. That's not how it works in here.
It's cool if you have like a tape op to handle everything. If I just could be the talent, be all super high, maybe it'd be cool. I don't know.
Yeah, but since we're doing all the technology, not getting high. I want to thank the people who have been leaving comments. I mean, it's not like a deluge or anything, but it's always nice to see things coming through on social media. It makes you feel, I've been seen and heard. So I wrote a couple down here. Our old friend Ben on IG. I think he was the very first person to comment. He said, "Wow, this one sounds so good today. Feeling the sentiment of the lyrics a lot." I know.
That's great that other people can relate to our super depressed emotions.
I know, because that's like when I sent the song out, I was like, I promise this is like the last of our super dark, depressing songs. Like we'll come back with a little something
for
else.
A bit. We're not done, but as far as consecutive,
but this
back
is
to
like
back.
I think I said something like, this is probably our most devastating song.
Yeah, that's a perfect word. It's devastating.
And someone immediately wrote I don't mind dark songs a bit. I said, well, you come to the right place.
Yeah, if you don't mind devastating songs.
I think they said, I don't mind super dark. Yeah. Let's see. And then like kind of tied into Ben's. And then I noticed someone on Facebook had said...
Constance.
You want to read Constance?
Constance said, "Thank you for this beautiful song. I so needed it after the trauma I've been through."
Yeah. I bet she related to everything that you put me through. So crazy.
And on YouTube, Reforming Games commented, "What a beautiful song. I traveled to another dimension with it. I loved it. Thank you." That's the goal. All these comments, everything that these people said in the comments, man, it's cool because now we know we're just not like alone in the world, in the sense that, I mean, the feelings that we feel when we hear our stuff, other people have that shared experience too. So it's kind of, I don't know what the word is, but there's something comforting about that.
I know. I agree.
I mean, on top of the fact, I'm glad they're enjoying it, but there's something more that the connection seems quite similar.
I know. If we can make the soundtrack to their sorrow, I'm perfectly happy being in that space.
And that's cool. It just shows how universal some of these feelings are. If we that's because the kind of way I produce music, it has its pluses and minuses. I'll just kind of hide the minuses from you, but the plus, the thing I do better than most, I would say, I'm not boasting, I'm just telling you, the plus is like, I just really just go for some intense emotions.
That's
true. In the chords, the production, I have a lot of darker, weird, I have just this weird emotional thing I tap into, and I just go for hardcore. I don't hold back. So if I'm pulling something out and get into the music and people can feel that and connect to it, thank you. Doing something right. So thanks for sharing that. I'm not just alone in my thoughts and feelings.
Aw, that's why I wanted to pull out a few comments because, I do most of the social media, so Ryan doesn't always necessarily see the comments.
Yeah.
But if you leave a great comment, I will be sure to make sure that he hears it or sees it. Oh, I was actually really stoked to see a comment from our old friends at Soma FM.
An online radio station that's been around for a while.
Yeah. When this album that the song came from,
Life Goes On.
When Life Goes On originally came out in 2018, Soma FM's Rusty Hodges was a huge supporter of the album.
Yeah, I was playing it for like weeks, months, years, after a long time.
Yeah. So we were talking about on one of the older episodes about like how we were in the top 30 for like several months. We even had we were going back and forth and having the number one spot. I think our friends. Oh man, who are those? Halu. I think Halu took it from us at one point, but we got it back, I think.
Take that, Halu.
Yeah, I know.
They're nice people. I've met them before.
Yeah, they're super nice. Yeah. So anyway, he wrote, what did he write? Wrote, really like this. So I don't even know if he realized that it was from that same album.
That could have been.
He might have just heard like, oh, I love this.
Or wonder if that's why he really liked it, because he liked it from the 2018 album, and then now this new thing we did to it, or he forgot, and he just, wow, this is cool. Either way,
I don't know.
Either way, we're stoked.
I know. So anyways, hopefully it'll make it into rotation again over there.
Yeah, it was on his Lush channel where we were kicking ass, the LUSH.
I mean, he still plays a lot of Lovespirals and Anji B on Lush right now. He still does. I don't think I ever saw him pick up Numenon or some of the others, but I know he's got a lot going on over there. He's running a zillion channels.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Another station left a comment. Big Sonic Heaven Radio. They said they love it.
They love it.
Yeah.
It's great news. And you mentioned here they supported our previous single, used to be 2 singles back, I should say, 4 or 5 months ago, on their new music show.
Yeah, new music show. So anyway, so it's good to know that they've still got us in mind. So we'll see. We're doing this literally. The song just dropped Friday. Yeah. And here we are Sunday.
Yeah.
So it really hasn't had a chance to disseminate yet on any podcasts or radio shows.
No, we're quick here. Yeah,
we're just getting the word
out. Put out a single, we'll put out a podcast. And maybe we'll put out a podcast without having a new release. But that's been our pattern so far. We want to let you guys know and just tell you what's going on in our heads, and how we.
There's a lot going on in our heads.
Just guys. Both our emotions and our processes. And, in case you're curious, and you might be if you're still sticking around this point.
I know. Bless your heart. Your first listen just played the Call VIP mix. So
cool.
Yeah, so I got to get this mix out to the Mesa. In fact, this is what I got to start doing on Monday. I got to start sending everybody the information on all these stations and try to make the rounds, as it were.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of making the rounds, I just did a hour-long video interview with DJ Nocturna for her show, The Higher Octave. We ostensibly got together to talk about my participation in Brandon's Restless Mosaic album. I was on the first single. I probably mentioned it before. But then we talked about everything else. She was asking me asking me all these questions about my ancient past and stuff. So if you're curious about
the fanzines you made in the 80s.
Yeah, how I got to where I am today, more or less. We stumbled through some of those things, and it's on YouTube, and I'll definitely put a link to it in the show notes.
For sure.
Yeah. And you can find it also on lovespirals.com. I have it linked as well.
Hey, go to our website.
Please do. I have been updating it and trying to keep it, filled with data and whatnot.
We like our website. I remember,
I love it.
Yeah, we just went back to a more simple, super easy to update theme. Before we had these more complicated, way more professional looking themes, and they look cool, but they were like frozen in time because we didn't want to update them ever because it was always a pain in the ass. So you went back and found this super simple WordPress theme that
easy.
It's just like kind of old school. It looks pretty, lets the art speak for itself, but it's really organized well, and super easy to update.
It's so easy to update. I could probably update it from my phone. It's like no big deal. So so I make sure that every time we have a single, a podcast, a vidcast, a video, I get all that stuff up there. If there's an interview, I try to put lyrics and interviews. Like I've been going back and finding old interviews and it's so easy to transcribe written interviews now. You just press a little thing on your iPhone, gives you all the text. Paste, make a quick page. So I've been
computers.
Yeah, I've been trying to get information out to the internet. So that's what I've been doing. But we are also working on a brand new song.
Yeah, we're really close. I need to maybe later on today we'll get together. We've been working on a new song. It's not a mix of an older song.
Yeah.
And I've been I spent like 2 or 3 days this last week just really mixing hardcore, headphones on, long time, checking things, the speakers, and realize I need to make more. So like 2-3 days of that, and now I got to get Anji in here, get her feedback, and see what she thinks. She like it? Yeah. Should we add some more stuff or not? We'll see. But yeah, it's good for me too. I think today's Sunday. I haven't mixed since Thursday, so it's good to have some fresh ears too. Yeah. So we'll have 2 pairs of fresh ears when we check it out maybe later today.
Yeah, we've been kind of working on, like we got one vocal section down, and we got another vocal section down.
Like a week or 2 later.
Yeah, then like pretty recently I went in and I completed my harmonies, and then we're trying to figure out what you want to do at the end. Yeah,
once you get all your vocals in, then I go back and do more, and that's when I really start sculpting and massaging the song to really go. As I told Angie, I'm just really trying to make it go from like a pretty good demo to like a real Lovespirals production that you guys are used to hearing. That's kind of where the magic happens, I guess.
I love it. All right. Sweet. So I think we gave him a little hint about that last time, a little bit more now. We're very close now,
and it's not as devastating.
It's not.
It's still not totally like uppity, major keyed uplifting.
No,
but it's just not as devastating.
It's not as devastating. That's funny. Yeah, we kind of capped off winter with the Will It Ever Be the Same VIP mix, and now we're gonna kind of bring a little bit of spring vibes in.
Yeah,
who knows what we'll do after that? Like the other night, we were after we listened to the new mix. You went back and you listened to like some of the other recent mixes just to kind of see how it all flowed together, and it was so heartbreaking when we heard "Not Myself." You're like, wow, I wonder if I'll ever feel
like a song. I was Not Myself is one of the songs we put out last year. And I was saying, will I ever be as happy as that to make Not Myself? Because I feel like I was a different person then.
I know.
I don't know. I maybe I could make it because it still has those beautiful sad minor chords that I'm all into.
There was something slightly more relaxing about it.
Yeah, a little less tension, a little more uplifting for being a full-on minor keyed song.
What's been kind of fun about the way we've been putting out these singles is I remember because we had just done a couple devastating songs. We did Numenon.
Yeah.
And like...
Well, then remix of Numenon. But Not Myself came out right after, so it was a good counterpoint.
Yeah, it was a counterpoint. Yeah. And also it was like, it's like, it kind of had this like fall feeling, like a change of seasons.
Yeah.
And then when winter hit, we're all like, used to be.
Yeah, that came out around Christmas time. Yeah.
The Call. And now, will it ever be the same? And now we're going to come out with this other one that's... It's got a little bit of fun twist in a way. I don't want to give it too many teasers.
So hopefully we'll have that out. We're in April 20th. Hopefully we'll have it out in May. That's a good window. Like depends on when we get together and listen to what our notes are on it. What we need to do or not do.
Last I heard it was pretty great.
So. Hopefully there's not too much more to do. I mean I don't mind doing more if it's going to make the song, but hopefully you're not going to go, oh man, you messed it up or something. Hopefully it's cool.
We do have those conversations all the time. Like, well, I like the thing that was going on before, but it's usually not that hard to get it back to whatever the thing was.
Yeah,
it's not that big of a deal.
I kind of produce that way. It's easy to get back to the previous idea.
Well, that's what's nice about working digitally on computers with big hard drives.
Yeah.
Oh, did we want to talk about the artwork at all of this new single?
I kind of have this little photography hobby where I photograph things in a certain kind of ethereal style with the hope that some
So
of them
90s.
some of them will be appropriate for our album covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, we just went on a walking tour somewhere like a week or so ago, and I shot a bunch of shots.
I haven't even seen them
yet, but I have a couple in my mind that I think are promising.
Yeah.
But anyway, then I hand them over to you, and you do some more tweaking to them.
Yeah, you actually, back when we were working on Numenon, you kind of gave me like maybe a half dozen pictures to look over. And so we both really love the one we chose for Numenon.
Oh, it's perfect.
That one works great. It worked great for the music video too. And then I think Used to Be was another one from that series.
Yeah.
And then
shot the same night, I think. Yeah.
for the drum and bass mix, I took another one of those shots too. But yeah, so then I had this one left. This one looked so much different from those. So I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. But I ran it through a filter. I forget the name of the app. I think Prequel maybe. Anyways,
I thought like, wow, did it have stars in the background? So that's my filter. Like, oh, cool, it all works.
Yeah, the filter kind of it made it a little fuzzier and a lot grainier and added some weird stuff to it. And then I used the photograph again. I think the full photo that you had given me. Mm-hmm. I used that to create the teaser vid and I made one of those lyric visualizers
for YouTube.
Yeah,
which we'll put the link down there too. So.
Yeah, you gave me the tip of the filter that you used that gave it the still photo so much life, and I've been milking it. I used it on the Call VIP mix and on this one VIP mix.
Yeah.
It gives it that great 90s vibe, and we don't have to do any acting or any of this crap. So I think, we just want there to be a vibe while you listen to the song on YouTube, because some people get all their music via YouTube. Yeah. Some people do. They use it as their streaming thing.
And so maybe one day we'll make another like more proper music video again. But we should have the time for that sort of thing. So it's just very practical to make these lyric visualizer videos.
Okay, there are some things about the podcast that I noticed.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing I noticed is that on the podcast, you can leave a comment on each episode.
On Spotify?
On Spotify.
Oh, that's cool. It's like YouTube,
Yeah, exactly. And you can also rate the podcast like on a 5-star basis.
Okay, yeah.
On the overall. So that's on Spotify. So and also comment, please, that would be amazing.
Rate as well too.
Please, we would love that. Yeah, and it's pretty cool that on Spotify they let us link to one thing of our choice at the top of our artist page. So I'm linked to the podcast to try to raise awareness. Like, I can tell that we are getting, we're getting some downloads and listens, but it's hard. There's not a lot of feedback yet. So we're still looking for that. Then contrarily, I looked on Apple Podcasts and they didn't have either of those functions.
Yeah.
Like in the olden days, we used to get a lot of comments on this. We were talking about this last episode. That's why I checked into it. And so right now I don't see a way to comment on Apple Podcasts, but I did notice that our friend Brandon from Restless Mosaic left a comment on our website, which we had requested.
We told people, hey, just comment on our website. Be old school. Go to lovespirals.com.
So old school. And we know Brandon loves being old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's into it.
We're old school.
Yeah. And speaking of Brandon and old school, the comment that he left on the last episode was actually, it was a website that he wanted us to know about where you can look up your old mp3.com page.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So indeed, they did have Lovespirals Downwards, and Anji be all archived on there.
Oh, sweet.
Not the audio. Mm-hmm. Just like the graphics.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
awesome.
it's like such a trip down memory lane.
This is a long time ago, guys. If you don't know what we're talking about, this is really popular like around 2000, 2001, something like that.
Yeah, it was popular back in those days.
The turn of the millennium.
It was the cool place to be as a musician.
Yeah, it was cool for like a year or so. Yeah, it was kind of fun.
Yeah, a couple years.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
So I think that
covers a lot of our stuff. Yeah.
Didn't talk about our highest speed chase accident, but most of the news.
Yeah, bottom line is that we're fine. Yeah, we got sideswiped basically, just barely by a maniac fleeing from the police. He crashed like the next block behind us into 2 cars, and
all over the news. You can see us getting hit. Yada yada.
Yeah, we just barely got hit. I go, did he hit us or not? And I looked, pulled over. There's a scratch. Anyway, but we could have been way worse. I was watching the video. If we were up further, we could have really got hit, maybe head on. Who knows?
I hate to think about it.
Yeah, so we're happy to be okay. Traumatized from it still, but just happy that it wasn't worse. Yeah,
exactly.
So anyway, we'll be back. Probably, I said May with another.
Well, for sure.
Episode 96 of Chillin with
For sure, let's do it. We got this. Song of the month.
So again, yeah, please, if you're on a platform that lets you, leave us some feedback, leave a comment, even if it's just like, hi guys, or something.
Seriously, you literally just say, I enjoyed it.
And if you enjoy it, but you don't want to say anything, I get it. At least hit those little rating things, because that does help their algorithms out. The more interaction or whatever they call it. So engagement, that's it. So engage with us just for our sake, just to help the algorithms out to suggest our videos to more people.
And feel free on your social media accounts, feel free to have our song playing behind your picture or your video.
Yeah, you can find them.
They've got all the tools in there. I don't think our music's on TikTok, but it is definitely on Instagram and stuff.
Okay.
So until next time, we don't have an outro.
We don't.
Until next time, let's just play a little bit of the song to take them out. There we go.
Perfect.